I am so excited to share today's project with you. I have moved into a new place about a year ago, and all of my switch plates are old and kind of discolored, and yeah, they're pretty cheap, but I've actually had to pay for a lot of repairs, and so little things like this have just gone by the wayside. But we have this beautiful new designer series paper. It even has some shimmer to it, and I decided that I was going to use this paper as a cover plate for my light switch. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've already cut down my piece of paper. What I did was I measured my switch plate and I added a 1/2 inch on both sides. And I'm going to want this side of my paper to be on the front. So I'm just turning it over, and I've already marked this, but just to show you what I did, I just centered my switch plate onto my paper, and I just eyeballed it, but just get it, fairly close. And then all I did was I took a Sharpie, in this case, just because the paper is so dark on the back side. I took a black Sharpie and I just traced in here so I know where the dots are, and then I traced around this box right here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is take my paper snips, and I am just going to trim out. I'm going to start a little line here. It's pretty thick paper, so there we go. So you're just going to carefully cut out this spot right here where the switch is. Some of my plates in my house are bigger, have multiple switches, so you can do this with any of them. It's another great thing about having the 12 by 12 paper. You have a lot more options in terms of cutting. Now that I have this hole cut out of the center, I grabbed my paper piercing mat and the piercing tool that goes with it, and then I'll show you on this one, I just poked a hole. You could even do two kind of side by side if you wanted, in the paper where the screw goes. And then I just took the screw and poked it through the hole, just very carefully. So just like that. And then just to make sure that it's got the good indentation, and then just pop it back out. And I already did that up here too, but you see, so it's a tight fit. You don't want it to be too loose, but it is there so that when you go to put the plate back on the wall and put the plate here, it will all match up. Moving on to the next step, now that I've got my paper cut and the holes cut out, I have a foam brush here, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of this Mod Podge into the lid. I don't need a lot of it, and it'll just, I think, make this easier in the end. And the foam brush I have is kind of big, but I just grabbed the first one I could find. So I'm just going to layer some Mod Podge straight onto my plate here. And actually I'm just going to pick it up because I want to make sure that I get the sides as well. You just want to give this a generous coat. So now that we have that on there, we will quickly position our paper, lining up where all of the holes are. Okay, and then I'm just going to wrap. So I've lined it up on the front. I'm going to smooth it out and start to kind of push it down. Where the edges meet. Whoop! Yeah, you're really going to want to hold on to this and make sure it doesn't shift around on you as you fold your paper back. And you see it is moving around on me a little bit, so just watch that and make sure that you've got your holes centered around everything really well. Okay, and I'm gonna have to glue the edges in the back, but for now my main thing is just making sure that I get the front piece adhered really well, and that I'm starting to kind of bend the paper towards the back here. So I'm going to let this dry, and once it dries, we'll come back and we'll go to the next step. Now that the paper is adhered well on this front side, I've gone ahead and gone to the back, and I didn't realize my camera was facing the wrong direction, so I've missed some of this, but I still have enough left where you guys can get the the idea of what I'm doing here. All you want to do, I really just have one small corner left, but you just want to dab some more of the Mod Podge onto the edge of your plate. Now your plate may look a little bit different on the back, but mine just has like a little ledge for each side. So you just want to place some Mod Podge on that. And then right here in the corner where there's a little bit of extra paper, you see that? I've just been taking a pair of scissors when I get to that point and trimming it off on one side just to reduce the bulk. And then you're just going to fold your paper over and press it down and hold it in place for 20-30 seconds. And you can see where I still have some edges that are still trying to dry. So again, I'm just going around right now and pressing all the edges down and trying to get that Mod Podge to stick as tightly as I can. So we're gonna let this dry, and when we come back, I'll show you the final step. Paper is all dry on both sides. I'm going to take my Mod Podge again that I have still poured here in the lid and my foam brush, and then I'm just going to, in sweeping strokes, brush this Mod Podge all across the top. That's all you have to do. Now we're gonna try to get the edges here a little bit. Then I'll let this dry and then it'll be ready to put up on my wall. So here is my switch plate cover. It is mounted back on the wall, and I'm telling you, it looks so much better than looking at something like that. It just gives the wall, and then you see that sparkle in the paper as well. I hope you enjoyed today's project. I'm so glad you joined me. Before you go, please take a look at my other videos. I have a playlist full of make it quick cards. They're cards that you can easily make. I also have some more advanced cards in my library, video library, so be sure and check those out. Until next time, have an incredible day.